Oh man, I am such a Goomba. You might be thinking I'm 20 minutes late. Actually, I am not late. I have been chatting. I've been talking for the past 20 minutes and I thought I was live, but then I looked over and it's like, actually, you're not live. This has just been a preview thing. You've been just talking to yourself for the past 20 minutes. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. I mean, you guys, I don't know if anybody's been waiting in the chat all this time. I don't know if you guys have been listening to any of this. I assume maybe. Let me know if you're in the chat and you've been listening in this whole time, trying to make sense of what's going on. But like, I was literally getting, man, I was like on fire. Let me just tell you, I was like, normally when I do these things, I'm like, maybe a little, you know, I might be thinking, what should I say? So I kind of like freeze for a second, trying to figure out what to say. I might be a little indecisive, but I was on fire, but nobody will ever see or know that. So how's it going, everybody? Oh, man. What a good way to start. What a good way to start, like officially start. Okay. I hope, and anyway, good to see some of you. Got Jigzilla here, Michael 2009. Hey guys, welcome. Glad you can make it. So, all right. So let's just get to it, man. So I'm gonna quickly just share a couple things. All right. So this week I've been very busy this week. I work in public education, so it's been spring break for us, so I've had the week off, so I've had more free time. And I've been doing a lot of stop motion, so much of it for my current project, Gamera, Herald of Mothra. It's like a fan-made sequel to Gamera 3, one of my favorite kaiju films of all time, like arguably the best giant monster movie ever made. And I gotta tell you, this movie was originally gonna just be like 2 minutes long, but I kept adding more and more to it. So much more to the point where it's now like, it's gonna be at least 3, maybe even 5 times longer. It's gonna be a very, there's a lot in, so stay tuned for like the next week or so. I'm going to share more and more screen grabs because I still have so much more stop motion to do. But this is going to be a big project. It's going to be massive in scope. I don't want to like spill the beans or anything, about some really cool cameos, unexpected appearances. It's just going to be great. Jigzilla says, dude, I love the Godzilla -1 versus Legendary Godzilla stop motion that you made for the Godzilla collab. Awesome job. Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that movie was a lot of fun to make, and you know what? It, like, really... I'm really happy with how that turned out. I mean, I admit sometimes when I'm finally finished with a project, I kind of feel a little bummed, like, is there more I could have done for that? But for that project, for that particular face-off, I'm quite satisfied with how it all came together. So I appreciate your kind words. Thank you. Jack says, JL versus G versus K2 and Godzilla versus Marvel Comics are making us stuff this year. Truer words have never been typed and subsequently spoken. I am eating so good, as are you. Godzilla fans, are we not entertained? Are we not satisfied? Yes and no. We want more. So you guys, you know what this stream's all about, right? By the way, I hope you guys like Shin Godzilla here on my shirt. From Cavity Colors. They make amazing stuff. So... as you can see, we have a big crossover coming up. We have Godzilla versus Marvel, Godzilla versus DC. Marvel's the one on the left, on your left here, and DC's on the right. This is not the first time Godzilla has, well, terrorized either intellectual property. Like, Godzilla fought Marvel back during the 1970s. It was a really fun 24-issue run. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. It's really great. I mean, it's just classic comics. You gotta love it. I mean, Godzilla taking on the Avengers, taking on, like, the Fantastic Four, taking on Red Ronin, like a giant mech. I mean, he's taking on all manner of different cool original kaiju. Then, you know, he gets shrunk down and fights a rat in a really intense fight. I mean, Godzilla also fights cowboys. It's all over the place. All over the place, guys. Yeah, Jack's right here. The kaiju renaissance is in full swing. No kidding, man. I think so. I think I mean, with the success of the MonsterVerse, Godzilla -1, all these crossovers, I mean, Godzilla's also been, it's more than just Marvel and DC. I mean, it's been like Power Rangers as well. I think there are other crossovers in the work. I think I may have heard a rumor of Godzilla and Sonic the Hedgehog having a crossover. I mean, anything's possible, right? Hence the title of today's stream, Godzilla vs. DC, Marvel, your mom. It's going down. So let's get into it. So last summer, Godzilla took on the DC universe, right? But this time, we're gonna see a sequel. So I'm gonna read the synopsis for you guys. So, artist Deuce reunites with Ryan Bryan Buccellato for this 7-issue sequel to the acclaimed series that continues the battle between the superheroes of the DC Universe and the titans of Legendary Comics' MonsterVerse. In the aftermath of last year's Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, Task Force X launches a plan to develop hybrid titans that Amanda Waller can control to guard against future titan attacks on our Earth. To stop Task Force X, the Justice League travels to legendary Earth and must face the dangers of the Hollow Earth, Kong, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This issue is going to be releasing on June 4th of this year, so in about 2 months, guys. Well, actually less than 2 months. Alright, there's a lot to unpack just from the synopsis alone. So first, as you can tell by the image here, King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra are joining the party. We missed them from last year's crossover, so it's good to see them here. More on them in a second. I thought I would mention here that Amanda Waller is involved, and in my opinion, she's one of the most dangerous characters in DC. I think she's more dangerous than Lex Luthor and even the Joker. Like, just look no further than what happened recently. She was part of this one, I forget the name of it, one DC comic book event where she just took all the superpowers from DC's superhero community. It was pretty trippy. But I also like some emphasis here. They want to develop hybrid titans. Who could those characters be? Well, let's take a look, shall we? So first and foremost, we're going to see the lineup here. This is Task Force X. Amanda Waller is on the far left. She's, of course, studying them, just inspecting her team. You got a lot of characters here from left to right. Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor, King Shark looming in the background. He's obviously the big hulking shark. Captain Boomerang is standing in front of him. Peacemaker is next. And then we get to Captain Cold, Black Manta. This girl in green we will get to here in a second. And Cheetah on the far right, and then behind Black Manta is Killer Croc. take a look at this. Speaking of hybrid titans, it looks like Amanda Waller is going to turn Killer Croc and King Shark into giant titan monsters. Oh, Jack, I'd love to see a kaiju Clayface. Oh, that would be so perfect. Sorry, I had to read that comment. That's such a great idea. So, seeing Kong throw down with a giant Killer Croc is a great idea. Seeing Godzilla fighting a giant King Shark is a great idea. This is perfect. This is genius. Brian Bucciolato is like a genius writer. This alone sells. I'm sold. But going back here, I also want to... I mentioned somebody's part of this lineup, right? Lex Luthor, the bald guy on the left, next to King Shark and Captain Boomerang and Harley Quinn. Lex Luthor is part of Task Force X. But then, who is this girl on the far right? The one in the green hood. We'll get to her in just a second, but in a moment. I feel like this is something we really need to talk about first and foremost. Okay, I know I'm jumping all over the place. Oh, oops. I know I'm jumping all over the place. That's because, again, I thought the stream had already started. I'm just excited, okay? I'm trying to catch up with my own greatness here. The Titan roster from these screens alone suggests we're getting Godzilla, Kong, King Ghidorah, Mothra, Rodan, Tiamat, Scylla. Where the heck is Behemoth? So this is pretty incredible. Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan are joining the comic. It's going to be so awesome. And this also means we could maybe see Kong taking on Ghidorah and Rodan, or maybe one of them. That would be such a cool matchup. But here's the thing. We know Lex Luthor is returning. He likely escapes, is no longer bound by Amanda Waller's control. But who's the man on the right? His name tag says Shaw. Is this Colonel Shaw from the Monarch Legacy of Monsters show? And what could they be looking at? I want you guys to think about that for a moment. As this loads, I'm going to catch up on some reading here. Jake Zilla said, hey, it's not the end of making stop motions. You can always make a part 2 of your stop motions. This is true. This is true, Jake. Honestly, that might actually end up being an option for one particular project that I've been meaning to release to you guys that is sadly incomplete for reasons. But there's enough to make it a very fun short stop motion in itself. So I'll fill you guys in on a second. Jake Zilla, you seem to be a massive Hulk fan. I knew you and I knew we'd get along. Go Hulk indeed. The Justice League and Sonic are having a comic crossover, so a Godzilla and comic crossover does not sound like a fan dream. I'd love to see it. I did not know that Sonic and Justice League were having a crossover. Maybe that's what confused me, but it would be really cool to see Godzilla and Sonic crossover as well. What else? What we got? Jake Zilla saying Kaijutopia going to be a comic book writer and designer. You know, I know you're playing me here, Jake, but you're right. Maybe someday, we'll see. Jack says, I'm interested to see how Superman will think of King Ghidorah and how he relates to Godzilla. As we know, legendary Godzilla hates aliens. It's part of the reason why Godzilla and Superman had a hard time. I don't even think it's just about hating aliens per se. It's just, what was Ghidorah's intention? His intention, his motive, was to wipe away all life on Earth. Whereas, you know, with Godzilla and Superman, they briefly were able to, spoiler alert, put aside their differences in the last crossover to take on a common enemy. But here in this image, we can see the Justice League are on Skull Island. And who's that front and center? Right in front of Kong is Supergirl. Kong and Supergirl formed a connection last crossover, so there's a reason why she's taking point here. So let's see. And Kong has always kind of had a thing for blondes, you know, so she might be trying to calm him down here. I'm also hoping, I'm just gonna throw this one out here. I'm really hoping we get to see Kong wield the Green Lantern ring again. I'll get back to that one in a second, because this, I kind of talked to you guys earlier about this, so we should really address it. So in this image, who do you see? So I initially nerded out when I saw this, when I noticed it, and I thought, holy crap, is Mothra be thy name? Is that the Spectre swooping in, saving Lex Luthor? No, it's actually the Enchantress. The Enchantress, well, for starters, she was the big bad from I think it was the Suicide Squad from 2016. Yeah, so she's part of Task Force X, and she's pretty dang powerful. Arguably, I'd say she's the most powerful member of this particular bunch. So her presence here is interesting, to say the least. And if I had to pick anyone who might be attempting to control King Ghidorah and getting him to raise hell, it'd be her. In case you're wondering how strong is she, well, she can pretty much take down Superman. Now, Superman does have a weakness to magic, but she still has enough raw power in itself to pretty much stalemate his strongest attacks. And Superman, we know he got beat by Godzilla last summer. Long live the king. But the fact is, Superman still held his own rather well against Godzilla. So the fact is, I think Enchantress is a huge threat. Speaking of huge threat, check this shot out. I'm sorry, we're gonna get back to the program here in a second, but this is the Enchantress summoning pretty much telekinetically, like sucking in like a vortex all the nearby humans, forming a giant disembodied, just a big body. Like, scary stuff, guys. Scary stuff. Enchantress could very well end up being like the main villain in this saga. Okay, so earlier I talked about how I want to see Kong once again wielding the Green Lantern ring. Not only do I want to see that happen again, I want to see Kong join forces with the Green Lantern Corps. I want to see Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps going up against King Ghidorah. I mean, we're going to be talking a lot about Ghidorah tonight, but man, this is absolutely a matchup that needs to happen. A couple other cool things here. Some other cool variant covers. The one on the far left shows Harley Quinn running, but also Godzilla and Rodan throwing down. This is something that we never got to see in the legendary movies in the Monsterverse. Should have happened in Godzilla King of the Monsters, so hopefully it happens in this comic in one form or another. A pretty cool shot in the middle here with the Justice League basically like trying to take on Ghidorah, and no doubt realizing they are in way over their heads. And finally, the one on the far right here behind Godzilla, top right, is a Muto. So I'm hoping we get to see the Mutos return. Okay, so here's one last thing before we get to Marvel. Are we going to end up seeing a rematch between Godzilla and Superman? Do we want to see a rematch? The answer should unequivocally be hell yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want it. I want it. I want it. And I'll tell you why. For starters, I kind of feel like Superman was holding back originally. Superman holds back a lot. Let's just face it. He's Superman. He holds back on a daily basis. Like in almost every single instance of him saving the day or thwarting a bank robbery. The Kryptonian Man of Steel is strong enough to split the planet. This guy is immensely powerful. He's used to holding back. So I want to see a rematch because I feel like Superman, the next time he meets Godzilla, I don't think he's going to play around. And I think we might actually see a different side of him. I think we could actually we could see a far more I want a true cosmic face-off here. But also, good writing exists. Brian Buccellato is a great writer, so he understands both characters very well, so it's not all about the fights. Superman is one of the most compassionate characters in comics. The dude represents hope. He's the living embodiment of it. So, yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to pick this up. Cover it on the channel, of course. Oh, Jakezilla. Mega Hulk versus Kong. Hey, man. I don't know if Marvel has the rights to Kong, but I'd pay to see that. Venhanzilla asks, do you know Goji Guy? Yeah, I've heard of him. I'm subscribed to his channel. He does pretty good stuff. I usually don't watch many videos from other kaiju YouTubers. Mainly, well, when I make projects, I want to be as original as possible, so I don't want to watch another video and, potentially take some of their stuff, like get some of their ideas and such, so... But he's definitely, I think he's doing great stuff. His content's amazing. It's really well polished, well scripted. I mean, the editing's great. Truly happy for his success and wish him the best. Yeah, Jack, this summer is going to be one of the best for us kaiju fans. Absolutely. 100%. Guys, we're going to be getting Godzilla vs. DC and Godzilla vs. Marvel. Like, in the same month or months. We're going to be getting a ton of Godzilla smashing superheroes left and right content. It's going to be incredible. And yes, I will be covering it. Of course I will. Why wouldn't I? Alright, it's time to talk about Marvel. Godzilla has already returned to the Marvel Universe. If you didn't know this already, you should immediately go find my video where I cover Godzilla fighting the Fantastic Four. It's titled Fantastic Four: Rise of Cosmic Godzilla. Last I checked. So this was the start of a 6-issue series. In this first issue, Godzilla takes on Marvel's first family. There was a team-up between Godzilla and Silver Surfer. By team-up, well, we'll get into the specifics here in just a second. Easily what stands out the most is the fact that Galactus actually turned King King Ghidorah into his new herald, which is crazy. I wrote this before. I wrote this part, this last bit. King Ghidorah wielding the power cosmic sounds like a universal threat, but we'll see if they capitalize on this or not. Yeah, so I wrote this quite a while back, before the comic came out, and I covered it. So here are a couple shots from the comic in question. Here we see Godzilla attempting to blast the Fantastic Four, clearly declaring war on Lady Liberty. This is a couple scans of Galactus coming upon Ghidorah, just unaliving his entire planet. So Galactus feels like, okay, you got the job. You know, I'm looking for a new herald. I like what you got, kid. You're hired. Here's Herald Ghidorah. I've said in the past, and I'll say it now, I'm pretty much I'm disappointed in the Herald Ghidorah design. They just made him silver. Okay. And there are other things that disappoint me a bit about this comic, but for the most part, make no mistake, it's a great first issue. I really love the story, and I thought they did Ryan North, the writer, did a fantastic job overall. Here's another shot of the Silver Surfer basically going, yeah, I'm not fighting that thing. He's like leagues above my own. I mean, there's no way I'm going to fight him. But I'll tell you who can. And here's the Silver Surfer bestowing Godzilla with the power cosmic, turning him into Cosmic Godzilla. Okay, so now here's what everybody is waiting for. Am I right? I mean, guys, I get it. Maybe some of you are like, Fantastic Four, it's not really my thing. But Godzilla vs. Hulk, now we're talking. So here's the synopsis. General Ross has no tolerance for monsters in any form. With the Thunderbolts, his anti-kaiju task force, he's taken down or imprisoned the biggest and baddest monsters on the planet. Fin Fang Foom, Mothra, Kumonga, even the Hulk. Now all that's left is his biggest hunt of all, Godzilla. But the Thunderbolts' effort to bring their last monster to heel may just result in the most destructive battle royale to ever rock the earth. It's time to figure out who's really the strongest there is. Round 2 in a series of 6 one-shot throwdowns. This is coming out April 16th. That's this upcoming Wednesday. And before we get to it, guys, check this out. They recently released some previews. You guys ready for this? This is Bruce Banner, and he's walking down a hallway, and the narration reads, down in the aforementioned bunker, a brilliant scientist with a big secret roamed. He had learned the art of meditation, and it had been a few years since this man lost control of his temper. Holy moly, that's Dr. Demonicus. Dr. Banner meets Dr. Demonicus. Dr. Demonicus was one of the main villains Godzilla faced in the Marvel 1970s run. So it's pretty crazy to see him here, and it makes me wonder if this is going to be a sequel to the 1970s run or not. I'm really hoping they do. It would be great. I mean, it kind of already, let's face it, Godzilla showing up in the 1960s fighting the Fantastic Four kind of messes with continuity, but it's not like Marvel has always cared about continuity. But let's keep going. Dr. Demonicus is building something. It's called the Kaiju Incinerator, and he believes it'll be enough to destroy the king of the monsters, Godzilla. And he tells Banner, just, be sure you and Ross do your parts. Now, here's a big moment. And it looks like this is a press member talking to General Ross, who I'm currently blocking with my beautiful face. The reporter says, "You killed Fin Fang Foom, Hulk, Surtur, and so many others, but not Godzilla. How do you intend to do it?" Ross responds, "This is Texas, son. Bagging big game requires some big bait. It just so happens that we have an ace up our sleeve." So in a moment, I'm going to show you what Ross means by bait. But this is crazy. Ross and his Thunderbolts, this anti-kaiju task force, has already killed Fin Fang Foom, Hulk. I doubt Hulk is actually dead, as we'll see here in a moment. But Surtur? Whew. These guys don't know what they're doing. That's a big name to drop like that. So Surtur is this Thor villain. He is a giant. He's a big old fire giant. King of Messelheim. Dude is powerful. Up there in the, Odin, Galactus scale of strong, okay? So, I'm going to call bull here. I'm going to call foul. I don't think Surtur's actually taken down, but that's a lot. But here, check this out. This is what General Ross meant by bait. Kumonga, the giant spider, has trapped the mild-mannered Mothra. Poor Mothra. Oh my god. Unbelievable. Are you serious? What the hell, man? What the hell? And guess what? It gets worse. So after what appears to be acid being thrown into Mothra's face, Kumonga chows down, just literally tears right into Mothra's head. This is crazy. And of course, if you look at Kumonga, Kumonga has a device in its head, so it's possible this is what Kumonga intends to do. Might be making it easier for the humans to take this mind-controlling device from Dr. Demonicus and plant it into Mothra. But remember, Mothra, she's bait. We come back here, okay? So Dr. Demonicus devised a plan so devious that it sent chills down the spines of the other Thunderbolts. They had failed to kill Godzilla for years. And now, Dr. Demonicus had enslaved the angry arachnid, which is Kumonga. Banner goes, "Once again, I object to this. Surely there was a less cruel plot to lure Godzilla here." Dr. Demonicus responds, and I'm going to try and do a cheap villain voice. "You radiate weakness, Banner. All these abominations must be cleansed. My control of Kumonga may not last long, but the cries of Mothra will be too much for Godzilla to resist. They have showed some camaraderie in the past." So Godzilla and Mothra are friends here. And also, just a little time out from reading this. Mothra has joined Godzilla in coming over to Marvel. And she's not going to be the only one. Godzilla is bringing all his amazing kaiju friends this time, which is super exciting. But we're gonna read the rest of this. Banner responds, and what happens when Godzilla is off the board? What will you do then?
Look at me. Look at what this war has cost me. My body has been desecrated in this fight. I am hollowed out from within. These kaiju have utterly destroyed me. Be grateful, Dr. Banner, that you have no idea what it's like to be a monster.
Dr. Demonicus, you're in for a surprise, good sir. So it almost seems like not many people here know Dr. Banner is, in fact, the Hulk. That's something to bear in mind. And it looks like his plan has worked. Mothra's cries have indeed summoned Godzilla, and that's the end of the preview. But there's some other images to share. Here is General Ross piloting Mecha Godzilla. That's right, guys. Showa Mecha Godzilla is coming along, and that makes sense because this Godzilla vs. Hulk story, I forgot to specify this, takes place during the 1970s. Each of these 6-issue one-shots take place in a different era. So, Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four, that took place in the 1960s. Godzilla vs. Hulk is happening in the 1970s. Hence why we see the 1970 version of Mechagodzilla. And looks to me like they're taking Godzilla down a peg. Oh, man. Okay, so I gotta move something here because I don't know. I forgot to share this part. I don't know who this, I don't know who the robot guy is here. Could be Ultron. I'm not sure. Now here's a couple things of note. There's more than one Mechagodzilla. There's actually 2 as far as we can tell. So we know Ross is hunting Godzilla, seemingly the last monster on Earth. I don't think so. Godzilla and Hulk end up caught in the crossfire. And there are a couple noticeable things in these shots. Guys, couple things. Let's break it down. Here, and I circled this over here, there's webbing entangling Godzilla, and we know Kumonga is being mind controlled. So it's not so far-fetched that Kumonga and Mechagodzilla are on the same side. So I'm thinking right here, Godzilla had taken one of the Mechagodzillas and thrown him into Kumonga. Even crazier, the Hulk... Oh, I'm going to remove myself. Oh boy. The Hulk punches a new challenger. It's Hedorah the Smog Monster. Hedorah the Smog Monster is in this comic. And we're going to see the Hulk fight Hedorah the Smog Monster. Are you not entertained? Come on. And even the Hulk, bottom right, looks like he just made a huge mistake. I done goofed. And it's then, in that moment, the Hulk knew he made a terrible mistake. Oh my gosh, guys. So again, this comic is coming out here real soon. It's coming out April 16th. Coming up in just a few days. You guys gotta pick it up. Please. Oh, please. But we're not done. No, no, no. We got more. A green man fighting trash monster. Okay. But what's next? Well, I'll tell you what's next. Godzilla versus Spider-Man. And this next entry takes place during the 1980s. So the Venom symbiote is involved, and I'm going to read the synopsis of this issue here in just a second for more for context. But I bet my 1984 Godzilla coins that the symbiote merges with Godzilla and becomes Venomzilla. And by the way, writer Joe Kelly has an exquisite Godzilla tattoo on his arm. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of that, but you guys should totally check that out because it's really good. All right. Here is the synopsis. Fresh from the original Secret Wars, Peter Parker, aka the Amazing Spider-Man, returns to Earth with a spiffy new alien costume without a care in the world except for a complicated love triangle with MJ and Black Cat. Wow. And unbelievable pressure at the Daily Bugle, rent, bills, supervillains. Oh, and Godzilla is in New York City with his atomic breath aimed squarely at the wall crawler. Don't miss the two most popular characters in pop culture history absolutely going at it in this kaiju-sized slugfest for the ages. This is round 3 in a series of 6 one-shot throwdowns. And yes, guys, there's so much happening here. But yes, one of the cover arts release show definitively we are so getting Venomzilla. We are so getting it. We did it. I don't know what we did. I don't know how we did it. But we all played a role here. Oh, hi chat. I'm bringing you onto the screen now. Congrats, you've been promoted. That's your reward, chat. We did it. We did what was thought impossible. Okay, I'm going to stop taking credit now for things that I clearly had no hand in, but Venomzilla, let's go! So, during the synopsis, it did mention this is shortly after Secret Wars. Spider-Man has no idea that this symbiote, that his black suit is an alien. So it's going to be one big surprise, I'm guessing. And it'll be interesting to see how this story involving the symbiote with Venom is handled. Because hindsight, it's 2020, right? I mean, a lot has happened since the 1980s. And the symbiotes, especially if you've been following Donny Cates' incredible Venom run, there are a lot of things happening with the symbiotes. And I'm just wondering if we're going to get subtle hints or clues about it. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Jack Harrison wrote earlier, I wonder if we'll see Space Godzilla and or Destroya in Marvel Comics. You know, I'm not going to rule anything out at this point. I'm not going to rule anything out. So, for the record, guys, sorry, my chair keeps going down. I'm built like a tank, so it's really hard for it to hold up my power. My power level is too much, but I'm just going to brag for 2 seconds, okay? I totally called this. I totally called it. Don't forget, each of these issues, they may be calling them one-shots, but they are called issue number 1 for a reason. Mark my words. And I already know this. If you've heard the update from earlier today, you know this as well. There's so much more coming. There's so much more on the way. Until then, you're not only getting Godzilla fighting Spider-Man. Godzilla is going to be taking on the X-Men. This one-shot takes place during the 1990s. I'm going to read the synopsis. There's one ancient mutant the Xavier Institute has never reached out to until now. He's the biggest and best there is at what he does, but what he does isn't very nice. When a robotics firm draws a kaiju's anger, the X-Men are called in to protect a world that hates and fears them from Godzilla's counterattack. But is the king of the monsters a misunderstood outlaw hero or another evil mutant lost to its anger? And either way, can even the combined powers of the X-Men halt the giant monster's all-out attack before humanity sends the Sentinels to destroy all mutants? Round 4 in a series of 6 one-shot throwdowns, Godzilla vs. X-Men will be releasing May 14th, 2025. Holy moly. Now, the X-Men during the 90s was hot. And of course, recently we got to see X-Men 97 absolutely crush it. So seeing Godzilla taking on the X-Men is one thing, but the fact that they are aware that Godzilla, especially during the 90s, is technically a mutant. And because they're using different eras of not only Marvel heroes, but also of Godzilla. They're going to be using the Heisei Godzilla design. Although, we did just see him show up briefly in the 80s going up against Spider-Man, because that is when the Heisei Godzilla series started. But holy moly, I did in the last video when I talked about what this, like, long before we learn more, but this, hence why I bragged earlier, it might happen more. Go ahead and dislike this video, this stream, if you're tired of listening to me brag. I was really hoping that they would capitalize on the fact that of all the characters Godzilla could meet in the Marvel Universe, Godzilla and the X-Men have the most in common. They're misunderstood, they're feared by a world that they have to almost constantly on a daily basis protect. Yet they will forever be ostracized. They are pariahs. And so it looks like the X-Men might actually be aware of not only Godzilla, but man, oh man, this is just going to be... this is a crossover I've been waiting for. I'm really looking forward to this. Here's some stuff that's been released. Here's some shots. Of course, you guys should totally follow, keep track of what I post in the community notes on YouTube, because it's been active as of late. But on the left, we see Godzilla raising hell. On the right, it looks to me like we see the X-Men joining with Xavier, and it might just be the part in the synopsis that I just read where the X-Men combine their powers into one, which is exactly what happens here. It looks to me like we have a composite mutant. We have Cyclops, we have Wolverine, we have Storm, we have Beast, we have Gambit, and Jean Grey, all rolled into one super mutant. Oh man, oh man. And yeah, even still, this super mutant takes one look at Godzilla and he's just You know, they're just like, this is, we may have bitten off more than we could chew. I am just... Oh no, is my cat trying to get in? Yeah. She'll be fine. Let's read some chats here, some comments. Earlier, Jack mentioned that robot could be Ultron from the Hulk part. John Reeves, good to see you, buddy. Venom Godzilla by Spider-Man. Nice knowing you. Seriously, it's going to be interesting to see what Spider-Man comes up with. I think, like, he's going to discover, like, the symbiote's weakness to, like, sound and such. And I do wonder if, like, there's going to be a part where even the symbiote realizes it can't really stay bonded to Godzilla for long. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do here. Jack wrote, the allegory of atomic destruction versus the allegories of marginalized communities. This is going to be an interesting and exciting read. Absolutely. Well said. I couldn't have said that better myself, Jack. I think Godzilla vs. the X-Men has the potential. If Godzilla vs. Hulk is going to be like the best, let's face it, we're here to see some amazing epic fights. It has the potential to deliver on the most action. But I think Godzilla vs. X-Men might just give us some of the best story, some of the best writing. I really am interested to see what they end up doing. John mentions Godzilla is considered a gamma mutate in Marvel's universe. Marvel database states this. And Lord of Villains, good to see you here, says it would what if the green door opens up and the one below all says to Godzilla, "You bear my mark." Let me tell you something, man. If Godzilla suddenly becomes a host to the one below all, I don't know what to say, man, other than kiss the Marvel universe and beyond goodbye. Jeez. Or maybe Hulk will jump in and be like, "Hey, give that back." John mentions that's possible when Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe releases, but who knows? Too soon to assume. Indeed. But before we get to that goodness, I got more to share. The next Marvel one-shot will be up against the Avengers, which will take place during the 2000s, by the way. Now, I've heard some mixed reports. It could be 2000s, 2010s. Given the lineup of the Avengers team, which I'll share in just a sec, it could be either. But the synopsis reads, the original New Avengers return to face an unstoppable enemy, Godzilla. In the aftermath of a massive battle between Godzilla, Fin Fang Foom, the Avengers, and Jet Jaguar, S.H.I.E.L.D. tries to make sense of what went down, but everyone's telling a different story. What really happened during that fateful clash? Find out when Earth's mightiest heroes take on Earth's mightiest kaiju. This is going to be releasing June 18th, 2025. And yes, Kaiju-topians, yes, my esteemed viewers. Take a look, guys. This is coming out a week or two after Godzilla and the Justice League are having their rematch event. And, not to mention, I do believe there are going to be other Godzilla comics from other series being published by IDW coming out as well. June is going to be full of Godzilla. Now, here's something of note. Here's what's interesting. Earlier, I read to you some of the promo comic pages that were released recently from the upcoming Godzilla vs. Hulk throwdown one shot, and one of the characters mentioned that General Ross, his Thunderbolts team, have already killed Fin Fang Foom. And yet here, it mentions Fin Fang Foom and Godzilla are going to have a nice, big, serious fight. Now, the response, my gut response might have been like, so, the continuity, what's going on here? Are these connected? Are these Godzilla one-shots, they take place in different eras, right? But then, does that mean that there's some if one character is said to have died, and maybe we might actually end up finding out they never actually died in the first place? But does that mean are these one-shots connected? I don't definitively know if they are really gonna share some major continuity or not. I don't know if these comics are going to talk about the other, like their predecessors. Like, by the time we get to this Godzilla vs. Avengers issue, are the characters going to talk about how, Godzilla and Spider-Man faced off in the 80s, Godzilla fought the X-Men during the 90s, Godzilla vs. Hulk in the 1970s, and so on? I'm not sure. I don't know. But, guys, it's comics. Characters have died and come back to life all the time. Fin Fang Foom also has died a number of times. I mean, Hulk himself, in this one story, a couple years back, yeah, Fin Fang Foom bit the dust, but now he's back. So I wouldn't be too concerned with the continuity. But here's the Avengers lineup in question. We got Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and of course Captain America. He's blocked, but he should be there too. So I mentioned, we were just talking about continuity. Our characters going to be talking about previous, run-ins with Godzilla, because it sounds like Godzilla's been around for quite a while. Even the X-Men, it's implied that Godzilla is like the most ancient of mutants, and the Xavier Institute has been aware of him. So, this will be a very interesting issue for a number of reasons. Not only because it's Godzilla fighting the Avengers, the new Avengers, and I'm really hoping maybe we get to see some major heavyweights in the Avengers roster, because I mean, I get it, Wolverine is here, and Wolverine is like super tough, right? Oh yeah. Godzilla, you have a very powerful heat beam and you're super, super strong, but have you ever faced off against these? Claws, sound effects for Wolverine claws here. But yeah, I'm really hoping Spider-Man might say something here. In this comic about, it's that one giant lizard that I fought back in the 1980s. But bear in mind, Godzilla is a big deal to us for a number of reasons. But to the Marvel Universe, where crazy cosmic shenanigans go down, not only on a daily basis, serious things are happening, like, on an hourly basis. So, while Godzilla is a big deal to us, I'm just trying to say, I'm just trying to prepare you guys. Don't be surprised if some of these characters have trouble remembering who he is, or are surprised to see him when they do, even though he may have already been around for decades. A lot of things happened in this universe and on Marvel Earth. We should cut them some slack. Okay, John mentions, the new Avengers. They were formed in the 2000s, and they are using the Millennium designs to represent the era. I believe it is Godzilla vs. America and that new Godzilla design at his comic exclusive. Oh yeah. So the Godzilla versus. Okay, John, are you talking about the Godzilla vs. America comic series that's coming out? Well, I think the first issue has already come out, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think there's a new Godzilla design where Godzilla's taking on the new heroes in this IDW series. I think he's called the Kaisei Godzilla. Kaisei Godzilla, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Alright guys, are you ready for the real big event here? Okay, maybe it's not like the big event. But for me, it's everything. This next one is the one that you literally, I'm sure, not too long ago, you suddenly heard someone like giggling or like screaming in joy and you couldn't make sense of it. Well, that was me, because we're getting Godzilla versus Thor in the modern day. And the synopsis reads, the deadly group of assassins known as the Hand have bestowed Godzilla with the power of the beast. Thor must defend Midgard from Godzilla, but at what cost? This issue is coming out July 2nd of this year. It is the final part in the one-shots, in the 6-issue one-shots. This is modern day Thor, which means Thor from the Immortal run, written by Al Ewing. But this story, Godzilla vs. Thor, will be written by Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron, he's one of my favorite writers. He wrote the Godzilla, Gore, the God Butchers. No, sorry, Godzilla, not Godzilla. I take that back. That would be cool, though. Godzilla, Gore, give it to me. But Jason Aaron wrote the iconic Thor and Thor storyline involving Gore the God Butcher and the Mighty Thor Jane Foster arc. Two of my favorite, like, I just love these stories. I have all of Jason Aaron's Thor comic runs. And he's coming back not only to write Thor, but to have Thor take on Godzilla. And writer Jason Aaron, he's using the GMK Godzilla design, this is fitting given the Hands' connection. The Hands, by the way, is a supervillain group, organization, and they dabble in resurrection. In many respects, the Hand, they're kind of like the League of Assassins or League of Shadows, like the counterpart to DC Comics' Ra's al Ghul. But here's the thing, the power of the beast comes from the demon worshipped by the Hand, and he's called Kralak. The demon Kralak can do a lot of things, bestow demonic power that can make mere mortals suddenly become like cosmic level threats. So Godzilla being empowered by this demon will make him considerably stronger. Immortal Thor, as he is currently, is the Allfather of Asgard. Odin is dead, and he's passed on his Odin Force, which is like this like unfathomable energy source. All his magic, everything that made him the king of Asgard, he's given it to Thor. So now Thor is just on a completely different level. The fact that, you know, Godzilla now is going to be a huge threat to Allfather Thor it's kind of a big deal. To paraphrase something that Jason Aaron has said, expect a colossal battle that rivals some of the most epic cosmic throwdowns I've ever written with the God of Thunder. So for context, Jason has had Thor summon supernova-sized cyclones. He's had him turn entire planets into lightning-charged comets. Thor has blasted Gore the God Butcher several light years away. He's had Odin and Mighty Thor trade punches that sent each other flying so hard they were literally bouncing across the solar system. So, totally gonna hold Jason Aaron to this. And by the way, I will absolutely be adapting this into a stop motion. And by this, I don't mean the actual story. I have no idea what it's about. I just mean this face off, this shot right here. It's not going to be like a full, I'm already working on a big stop motion project, but this is one I'll likely take a break and work on this in the near future. Alright guys, the moment you've been really waiting for. With the recent news released today, we're getting Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. It's going to be a 5-issue arc, connected. And did I say I told you so? I sure did. I knew that those one-shots were not going to be the only thing we have. When Marvel was smart. Marvel realizes we got Godzilla here. They clearly paid more in order to get more characters from the Godzilla-verse to come over. They're getting their money's worth, and they're going all out. And, oh boy. Okay, let's get to reading a couple things here, okay? So, after facing the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers, and Thor, the King of the Monsters is set to take on seemingly every Marvel Comics icon in a single event series when Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe Issue 1 launches July 16th in comic shops everywhere. July 16th, folks. Not too long after Godzilla vs. Thor, we're getting this. All while Godzilla's also off conquering the DC universe. It's not only a good time to be Godzilla, it's a good time to just toast our patron saint, his royal King of the Monsters-ness. I say that while raising a Ghidorah mug. It's also going to be written by Gary Dugan, who's working on the Godzilla Hulk comic. Gary, by the way, fantastic writer. If you haven't followed his work, he's amazing. And the art is by Javier Garron, Uncanny X-Men. Javier, I really can't wait to see previews of this comic, but it's going to be a 5-issue event. It promises to combine the forces of not only Marvel's heroes, but also its villains to bring an end to Godzilla's rampage. Okay. I'm going to read to you the synopsis now. Yeah, that's right, there's more. Look out, New York. A previously dormant Godzilla has been angrily awoken and begun carving a path of annihilation as Earth's mightiest heroes band together to try and stop its cataclysmic rampage. But when their combined efforts fail to slow the bringer of destruction, Earth's heroes are forced to go to extraordinary lengths to try and bring Godzilla down, including joining forces with Earth's most devious villains. But will this be enough to stop Godzilla as it tears straight through the Marvel Universe into the dark dimension and other realms? Plus, how is the King of the Monsters connected to the mysterious metal vibranium? And what does this mean for Wakanda? In the face of an unstoppable force of nature, the Marvel Universe must come together like never before in this earth-shattering fight for Earth's survival. It's all hands on deck in the first of 5 electrifying issues in this epic saga. There is so much to unpack there, but I know why some of you are here. What about power levels? Excuse me. Okay. Just look at these 4 characters alone right here. We got Thor, Scarlet Witch, Storm, and Hulk. These 4 heroes, in my opinion, are the most powerful heroes on Earth. You have Allfather Thor, you have Storm, an Omega level mutant who has ascended as of late. More on her in a sec. You got Scarlet Witch, an extremely powerful reality warper in her own right. And finally, on the right, you have the Incredible Hulk, the strongest there is, but also the fractured sun. Now considered in many respects to both be the one below all and the one above all's chosen son, his vessel on Earth. These 4 beings are all extremely powerful. And I mean, legitimately, I would almost argue just one of these guys could solo entire superhero teams. The fact that these 4 are all going to struggle in stopping Godzilla is insane. It's insane. And I love it. Because some of you might be thinking, Tom, as a Godzilla fan, you are biased. You just want to see Godzilla win every time. And I would say, oh, my poor confused viewer. I'm not biased. I'm extremely educated on the subject matter. And yes, speaking of Storm, she has ascended as of late. She's quite literally become the vessel or herald, chosen disciple of eternity. Eternity is the embodiment of the Marvel multiverse itself. The Eternal Storm. Now, I don't know if we're going to see Eternal Storm throw down with Godzilla. I don't really know what's going to happen. But if this happens, we're going to like, the hierarchy of power is going to change. That's for sure. Also, I know I mentioned those 4 other heroes, but let's talk about the Fantastic Four real quick. Do not underestimate any of these people. Reed Richards, for example, smartest man on Earth. Don't tell Dr. Doom. Reed Richards. Give that man a plan. We already saw in the 1960s crossover, Fantastic Four versus Godzilla. These guys technically won due to knockout. They actually technically beat Godzilla. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my video. I covered it. Reed Richards, at this point, just give the man just a little bit of time to build whatever device or prep any sort of plan. You do not want him as your enemy. The Thing, a lot of people think, is like a discount Hulk. The Thing, let me tell you, he holds back a lot, but when he goes all out, this guy is seriously strong. Human Torch, Johnny Storm, dude can literally go supernova. Like, literally. We're talking millions of degrees here. And finally, Invisible Woman, Susan Storm. She is one of the most powerful superheroes in the game. Her force fields, they can, like, withstand cosmic level energy blasts. Don't underestimate the Fantastic Four. And absolutely do not underestimate the fact that since they're going to be teaming up with villains to try and stop Godzilla, I'm begging for Doom. Now, I don't know if by this point Dr. Doom is still going to be Sorcerer Supreme, but right now in the comic books, Dr. Doom is Sorcerer Supreme. Not Doctor Strange, Doom. And this guy has the entire planet under his rule. As it should. Honestly, all hail Doom. First off. And I kind of want to see Doctor Doom and the supervillains try and have, their cake and eat it too. I want to see Doom throw down with Godzilla. I want to see Doom build a vibranium Mechagodzilla. I know, Godzilla fans, we're eating good, and now I want to get, more than full. I want to get fat good, man. Now, earlier we talked about, I read the synopsis. This battle is going to take place all over the Marvel Universe, and it's going to, take Godzilla and the heroes to other realms, like the Dark Dimension. This is an interpretation of the Dark Dimension from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And here we have Dormammu, the ruler of the Dark Dimension. I would love to see Dormammu get absolutely humbled by the King of the Monsters. Okay, I want people to understand the pecking order, the power hierarchy in the Marvel multiverse, because it's insane. I never thought I would see Godzilla ever reach this point, but I'm happy to see him. Recently, in Storm issue 7, in the near future, and we don't know if this is for sure, but the Silver Surfer combined his power cosmic with Surtur's Twilight Sword. It gave him such a massive upgrade that he's quite literally one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. But despite all that, he still answers to Galactus. So far, what's the pecking order? Silver Surfer, cosmic tiered entity, still subservient to Galactus. Galactus is all kinds of powerful. And also the Godzilla Fantastic Four issue, spoiler alert, it ends on a cliffhanger suggesting a Godzilla versus Galactus throwdown seems inevitable. But until then, as of right now, I think Galactus is still on a higher level than Godzilla. We're going to see if that changes in the upcoming big crossover events. But I'm going to continue here. But even Galactus is not at the top of the food chain in the Marvel hierarchy. Even Galactus is beneath the Black Winter, a massive entity that consumes entire realities. But even the Black Winter is child's play to primordial beings like Oblivion. Alright, so I got a little ahead of myself here, but just to give you an idea of what to expect here, in order for Godzilla really to destroy the Marvel Universe or get into it, he's got major competition. There are so many characters, so many beings he's gonna have to lay out, and I'm all here for it, and I cannot wait to see it. So some of you are probably wondering, Tom, we're nearing the end of your stream, right? It's almost over, right? Indeed, it is. However, the title is called Godzilla vs. DC, Marvel, and Your Mom. So I got a little bit more. I'm sorry, Godzilla fans, but I don't really like Godzilla's chances. Here is someone's mother one punching poor Godzilla in the face. And I gotta tell you guys, Godzilla might actually manage to not only terrorize but conquer the DC and Marvel universe respectively. But he does not want to end up on the bad side of a really legitimately pissed off mom.
By the way, that's my wife. Just letting everybody know, just so there's no confusion.
But perhaps cooler heads will prevail, and instead of this such a battle between Godzilla and Mother just annihilating the entire, like, all of reality, we're really hoping that love prevails, and maybe, just maybe, it could be something, a lesson we could all learn. It was my wife's idea. We thought it would be funny, you know. So I'm imagining so many people are laughing right now, and they're all just blown away. And you know, you guys are the best, and I appreciate you. Seriously, man. Like, last I checked, like, we were, man, what are we at now? $35,000 subscribers, or coming up to 36,000 here soon. Thank you. Just thank you so much. It really means a lot knowing, like, so many people appreciate your work. They're invested. They want to see more, and I promise to keep doing what I love and doing my best every time. Like, I don't believe in releasing, like, half-ass videos. I don't want to, like, go, okay, well, I didn't really put much thought into this, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I really want, like, every single video to be, like, the best it could be, like, at least, you know, in that moment. I want you guys to be satisfied. I want you guys to keep coming back, and if you don't, but you still liked what you saw, then I'm happy to have played a part. What can I say? Your imagination, your entertainment is my destination. That's what I'm here for. So it does say, been streaming for about an hour and 22 minutes. But see, I've actually been going for an hour and 50 minutes. As I shared about 20 minutes in, well, at the very beginning of today's stream, but it was 20 minutes for me. Time, you know, everything. So how do you explain time? Timey-wimey, yeah. I forgot to click the live button, like go live, so I'd basically been talking to myself for 20 minutes and then realized, hell. It'll probably happen again. Let's just face it. So, okay. If I have to pick which of the one-shots I'm really looking forward to, let's divide this up. Let me try and explain a couple things. So, the Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four one-shot, it was really well done. I liked it. There were a couple things that I didn't like about it, but overall, I really enjoyed it. It was fun seeing Godzilla going up against Marvel's first family, and for the Fantastic Four to come up with a creative, rather ingenious way of temporarily stopping Godzilla's rampage. I'm absolutely looking forward to Godzilla vs. Hulk coming out this Wednesday, I believe. Mainly due to the fact that it promises to be just pure and utter action. We're going to get a lot of interesting crossovers here. We already know that we're going to see Mothra, we're going to see Kumonga, we're going to see Mechagodzilla. We're getting Hedorah the Smog Monster. And on top, like at the center of that, Godzilla fighting the Hulk. It's just, this is going to be the one shot that delivers on the action for sure. And then there's Godzilla taking on Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like the most popular, not only character in Marvel, but arguably he's the most popular Marvel, well, no, the most popular superhero of all time. That's just to give you an idea of the grandeur here. Like, I think this issue is going to just be very entertaining. I think it's going to give us a lot of great character beats. But the one that I think is going to be like, that's going to have the strongest allegories, symbolism, that's going to actually give us a lot to contemplate, will be Godzilla vs. X-Men. We're going to see some serious, awesome action shots, no doubt. I mean, it's Godzilla and X-Men. But I think this is the one where each character's respective symbolisms will not only complement each other, they will challenge the other. I think this is the one that has the potential to tell the best story. Out of the 6 one-shots, this is the one that I'm really greatly anticipating the most. As for Godzilla vs. Avengers, it's the new Avengers lineup, which, you know, I like these characters, but I'm also not, you know, they're not like my first choice. But the story does sound intriguing. But I'm honestly not expecting anything that's going to just, you know, blow me away. But I really still can't wait to see it because it does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. And just from a pure, like, mythical, like, point of view, like, Godzilla fighting Thor is something that I've always wanted to see. I mean, I've been planning, like, a stop-motion video for years of these two throwing down. So, even though Godzilla vs. X-Men I'm mostly interested in due to the story, and I think it's going to be quite possibly the best one. If I had to predict, the best one will be Godzilla vs. X-Men. The one that will likely end up being my favorite due to just how much of a Thor simp I am is, well, it's going to be this one. With that all said, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, this 5-issue action-packed series, is going to be... I honestly, I don't know what to expect other than I'm just... I mean, how many times have you heard it? You've heard me say this before, guys. What a time to be a Godzilla fan. And what a time indeed. Alright, well, stay tuned in the future. Coming to Kaijutopia real soon. I got a couple cool videos that are going to be coming up here in the next couple days and weeks. I have a few stop motion projects that are going to be coming online within the next week or two. Currently working on a big stop motion project. Still doing a lot of stop motion. So, you know, keep your eye on the community notes. I tend to update and show the progress of my work there. But otherwise, it's been real, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Man. What a time to be a Godzilla fan indeed, guys. Hey, take care, everybody. I'll see you all later.